There are approximately 39 trillion bacteria living inside your body right now. That is more microbial cells than there are human cells in your entire body. And according to research from the National Institutes of Health, the state of those bacteria determines everything from your risk of heart disease to how anxious you feel on a Monday morning. This is not a fringe theory. This is cutting-edge science that is reshaping medicine as we know it. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to discover exactly how your gut microbiome works, why it controls far more than just digestion, and what specific habits are quietly destroying it every single day. We will look at the science behind the gut-brain connection, the foods that feed your good bacteria, and the one factor that most health channels never mention, because it forces you to rethink everything you thought you knew about antibiotics, stress, and even your childhood diet. The story of the gut microbiome does not start in a modern laboratory. It starts in the early 1880s when a German physician named Theodor Escherichia first identified bacteria living inside the human intestine. Back then, scientists assumed gut bacteria were mostly harmless passengers along for the ride. For nearly a century, that was the consensus. Bacteria were something to be feared, fought, and eliminated. Then in the 1990s, everything changed. The Human Microbiome Project, launched by the NIH in 2007, spent years cataloging every microbial species living in and on the human body. What they found was staggering. The gut alone houses over 1,000 distinct bacterial species, and the collective genetic material of those microbes contains roughly 150 times more genes than the entire human genome. You are, in a very real biological sense, more bacteria than you are human. Your gut microbiome is essentially a living ecosystem, and like any ecosystem, it thrives on diversity. Research published in the journal Nature found that people with higher microbial diversity have lower rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, and even depression. Think about that. The variety of species living in your intestines is a stronger predictor of your long-term health than your cholesterol levels or your body weight alone. But here's what nobody talks about: that diversity has been collapsing for decades. A 2021 study comparing modern Western gut microbiomes to those of indigenous populations found that industrialized humans have lost up to 40% of ancestral bacterial species. We have been quietly going extinct on a microbial level, and most people have absolutely no idea. So how exactly does the microbiome control your health? Let us start with the most obvious role. Your gut bacteria produce enzymes that your own body cannot make. They break down complex fibers, ferment certain carbohydrates, and synthesize vitamins including B12, K2, and folate. Without a healthy bacterial colony, you simply cannot absorb nutrients efficiently regardless of how clean your diet is. A Harvard Medical School study found that individuals with compromised microbiomes showed deficiencies in key vitamins even when their dietary intake was perfectly adequate. That means you could be eating a textbook perfect diet and still running on nutritional empty because your gut bacteria are not doing their job. But the microbiome's influence goes much deeper than digestion. Approximately 70% of your entire immune system lives in the gut. The bacteria there train your immune cells to distinguish between threats and harmless substances. When that microbial balance is disrupted, a condition scientists call dysbiosis, the immune system begins misfiring. It attacks harmless food proteins causing allergies, or worse, it turns on the body's own tissues causing autoimmune conditions. The rates of autoimmune disease have tripled in the last 50 years in Western nations, and researchers at Yale University have directly linked this rise to changes in gut microbial composition driven by modern diet and lifestyle. Rhetorical question worth sitting with: if your gut bacteria train your immune system, what happens to a generation of children raised on ultra-processed food, antibiotics at the first sign of a sniffle, and almost zero dietary fiber? The answer is playing out right now in the form of soaring allergy, asthma, and autoimmune diagnoses in younger and younger patients. Now let us talk about what is arguably the most mind-bending aspect of gut science: the gut-brain axis. Your gut contains approximately 500 million neurons, giving it the nickname the second brain. It communicates with your actual brain through the vagus nerve, a direct two-way highway of chemical signals. And here is the number that will genuinely stop you cold. About 90% of your body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter most associated with mood and happiness, is produced in the gut, not the brain. Your gut bacteria directly regulate how much serotonin gets made. Studies at University College Cork have shown that mice raised without any gut bacteria display extreme anxiety, social dysfunction, and cognitive impairment. When researchers transplanted gut bacteria from calm, healthy mice into the anxious ones, the anxiety resolved. They literally cured anxiety by changing the microbiome. Human trials are now following that same promising path. A 2019 study published in Nature Microbiology analyzed data from over 1,000 people and found that specific bacterial species, particularly Coprococcus and Dialister, were consistently depleted in individuals diagnosed with depression. Those species were low regardless of antidepressant use. This is not correlation at the margins. This is a consistent, reproducible biological pattern that is forcing psychiatrists to rethink the entire model of mental health treatment. But here is what nobody talks about when it comes to destroying your microbiome. Antibiotics are not the only culprit. Proton pump inhibitors, the heartburn medications taken by over 15 million Americans daily, have been shown to dramatically reduce bacterial diversity within just 4 weeks of use. Nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen alter the gut lining and shift microbial balance toward inflammatory species. Artificial sweeteners, once celebrated as the safe alternative to sugar, were shown in a landmark Weizmann Institute study to impair glucose metabolism by disrupting gut bacteria in ways that parallel the effects of actual sugar consumption. We have been systematically dismantling our inner ecosystem one pill and one diet soda at a time. So what actually rebuilds and protects the microbiome? The research is clear and consistent. Dietary fiber is the single most powerful lever you can pull. Fiber feeds beneficial bacteria, particularly species in the Firmicutes and Bacteroidetes groups, which produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Butyrate is the primary fuel source for the cells lining your colon, and it also has powerful anti-inflammatory effects throughout the entire body. A Stanford University clinical trial published in Cell in 2021 found that a high-fiber diet significantly increased microbial diversity within 10 weeks. Participants also showed reduced markers of systemic inflammation, the same inflammation linked to heart disease, cancer, and neurodegeneration. Fermented foods are equally powerful. That same Stanford study found that participants eating fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, and kombucha showed even greater diversity increases than the fiber group alone. Combining both approaches produced the most dramatic microbial improvements. This is not about buying expensive probiotic supplements. It is about the food that has been on human tables for thousands of years, long before anyone understood why it worked. Chronic stress is one of the most underappreciated microbiome destroyers. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, directly alters gut motility, disrupts the protective mucus lining of the intestines, and shifts bacterial populations toward inflammatory species. A study from Ohio State University showed measurable changes in gut microbial composition after just 2 days of psychological stress. This creates a vicious cycle because, as we discussed, your gut bacteria influence your mood and anxiety levels. Stress kills beneficial bacteria, which then reduces serotonin production, which then makes stress worse. This is the loop millions of people are trapped in without ever knowing it exists. Sleep is the final piece that almost no one connects to gut health. Research from Nova Southeastern University found that even 2 nights of sleep deprivation caused significant shifts in gut microbial composition, increasing the ratio of bacteria associated with weight gain and metabolic dysfunction. Your microbiome follows a circadian rhythm just like you do, and disrupting your sleep disrupts its entire operating schedule. Here's what you need to take away from everything you just heard. Your gut microbiome is not a supporting character in your health story. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to HealthCore Daily for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.